Alright, what's going on everybody? It's Kurt here with another video, and today we're going to be doing the top 10 games of all time, in my opinion of course. But be warned, I do a lot of ties, I do a lot of compilations, so if you're like, oh, Final Fantasy 7 or Resident Evil 4, do you mean this one or do you mean that one? And I'm going to say yes to both. Yes. Do you mean original 4? Yes. Do you mean remake 4? Yes. Do you mean the remake of 7? Yes. Do you mean Rebirth? Yes. Do you mean the 90s Final Fantasy 7? Yes. I'm cheating. It's my list. I can cheat. Those are my rules. It's the only thing that makes me feel good. I mean, I guess I don't want to do this because like you could do gun to the head kind of thing, but I don't want to do that. My list, my rules. I do a lot of ties. I do a lot of compilations. You just got to deal with it. And I'm sorry. Let's get into it. First game on the list, number 1, Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1. It's got Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 on it. Those are my favorite games of all times. I love playing those. I love the music of Harry Gregson Williams. I love them for different reasons. It's almost like picking kids. And now that they're on a compilation, I can confidently put those two together and say, yeah, that's my favorite game of all time because it has 2 and 3 on it. Metal Gear Solid 1, it was okay, but 2 and 3 are the GOATs. Best games ever made. Kojima, you're a genius. I love you. It has to be number 1 on my list at least. So yeah. Okay, I kind of want to elaborate or add something else to the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1. Metal Gear Solid 2, I love the graphics. I love the gameplay. I love the VR missions. I think the music, I would say, is better in 2, but then in 3, you get the story of Big Boss. You get the Snake versus Monkey missions. I like holding up people and interrogating people. The story in Big Boss are better than the story in Solid Snake in number 2, so they all balance each other out, but I love them both equally. They have something that the other lacks, and that's why I love it. It's all in one package, and it's all mine. And it's number 1. And number 2, Resident Evil 4. And again, I love them for different reasons. So the original 4, it's literally a perfect game. The music's perfect. Everything about the game is perfect. There's certain enemies that like JJ's that are in the original that aren't in the remake. And then I want to say it's like the guys with the hammers that are bulls are not in the original. So there's cool stuff there. The parry system's there. You can play as Luis more. The story's a little bit more fleshed out, but they balance each other out. I couldn't pick. I like Ada look and voice better in the original. It's perfection, literal perfection. Yeah, you just can't go wrong. The mercenaries and music are better on the original in my opinion, but you get more characters to play as in the remake. The mercenaries and music is far superior than the remake, but I do like the added characters to it. I just wish they would let you use the original soundtrack in the remake. That would make it perfect. But again, Resident Evil 4 is number 2. Number 3, I'm gonna say Final Fantasy 7. Now, if we're going off base like 90s Final Fantasy, I would not put it above 10, but it's still a great game. I would rank that a 9.5 out of 10, but it's the remake. The remake is so incredible. It's one of the most fun games I've ever played in my life. I love Final Fantasy 7 Remake. I love Rebirth too, but there's too much shit in there, but I'm gonna include it all in one because it's easier for shorthand, but remake does all the heavy lifting here. I love the music of the original though. I remember playing the original Final Fantasy 7. I remember taking the train up the mountain and I remember going, oh my god, this is like the future of games, like right here. This is incredible, and just breeding the chocobos and all that stuff. It kicks up another freaking notch. The gameplay is incredible. The music's great. If you're gonna play Intergrade, the stuff with Yuffie, that just made me fall in love with Yuffie. Playing Intergrade was just fantastic. Just everything about it, especially when I played the Yuffie missions, I just went, wow, this is something special. Like there's commercials, there's jingles, the music, Descent of Shinobi, that's some of the best music I've ever heard in a video game. Like that is just incredible music. Descent of Shinobi battle themes, oh my god. Again, I was like, okay, now it's on the map. It's in my top 10 for sure. Okay, number 4, Final Fantasy X. This is a great game, and there's no shenanigans. It's just Final Fantasy X, and I remember playing this, and it was the first Final Fantasy with voice acting, and I was blown away by Yuna, one of the most beautiful women in video games. Auron, up there with Big Boss, is one of the coolest characters of all time. The story is gripping. My family, like my mom and my sisters, cried at the end. That's how moving it was. I love the soundtrack. Enemy attack theme was really good. Riku's gorgeous. The battle system's really fun. You can kind of just chill. I think it's not an active time battle. I think it's like a turn-based battle system where the action doesn't go until you take your turn, which is great because you can kind of get a sandwich. The graphics hold up really well. It's just an easy layup. Like without any ties or anything, it's one of the best Final Fantasies I've ever played. All right, number 5, we are tied with Tekken 3 and the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. So I mean, yeah, I'm sorry I'm a dirty cheater. I'm sorry, not sorry about that. Tekken 3. Both of these games have historical importance to me. So I remember Tekken 3 playing that in the arcade, and just I remember hearing the King theme in the arcade, and it was just like, wow, this is a really beautiful song. And then I remember I was in weightlifting class in 1997, 1998, and I remember this guy was like, oh, Eddie Gordo's the only real fighter in the game. Like, you can't do any of the other moves. And I was like, dude, you could absolutely do Jin Kazama's chicken butcher throw. I could do that to you right now. And so he was like, no way. And so I picked him up by his arm. We go back to back. I lift him up. I feel a pop. He's on the ground, curled up in a ball. He's like, oh my God, my arm's hurt. And I remember I saw him a couple of years later. I want to say 2002 at Tilt Arcade in Valco Mall. I said, hey man, like, how you feeling about the whole Tekken thing? He goes, I can't do capoeira anymore because of that. So yeah, Chicken Butcher for the win. Tekken 3 is the best Tekken game ever made. Like, no matter how far they go or whatever they do, Tekken 3 is by far the absolute GOAT. The arcade music is the best. Story-wise, it went in a completely different direction. It took risk. I remember it was kind of like Mortal Kombat Mythologies in the sense where the way they promoted it, they would kind of drip feed the character bios. And I remember I would read about Raleigh Jackson, who was eventually Eddie Gordo. And I remember little stories where they took it out, but I could swear up and down this is a Mandela effect if nobody else remembers, but I remember they were saying that Armor King was kind of complicit in King's murder when Ogre killed him because he chickened out and ran away. So that's why he trained the new king, because he felt like he needed to repent for running away from his friend. Jun Kazama, I remember hearing that she was beheaded, like the opening cinematic with Ogre picking up a head that was Jun's head. And, you know, jumping to 20 years in the future, and Heihachi's old, and if he does like a kickflip and he misses, it hurts him because he's so old and decrepit. And for what it was when it came out, you knew it was the best Tekken game ever made. And then you could do like a mode where you could swap out the Tekken 3 disc, you could put in Tekken 1 or 2, watch all the endings, watch all the FMV scenes, listen to all the music. It was way ahead of its time. Like, there's so much content you can do in that game. Excellent freaking game. Tekken 3, especially on PS1, you can't fuck with it, but you do need to change the music to arcade to get the real oomph. Like, that is Tekken 3, one of the best soundtracks ever. King's theme is my favorite theme of all time in any video game. I love that theme. It's like, again, it's like picking kids. I can't put any Mortal Kombat above Tekken 3, but I can't put Tekken 3 above Mortal Kombat 2. It's just, I can't do it. They mean too much to me. Both of them do for different reasons, and both of them have been life-changing for me. And so when we go to the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, we've got MK1 and 2, Arcade Perfect, we got MK4, you got MK Mythologies. You know how important MK Mythologies is to me, so yeah, I mean, I can't. And it's all inclusive, so I can just go, yeah, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. Do you mean this game? Yup. I mean MK2? Yup. Do you mean Mythologies? Yup. So just to have that there with Tekken 3 is really cool. I'm waiting for them to do a Tekken Museum Collection. That would just be even better for my countdown list. But yeah, Mortal Kombat 2, one of the best fighting games ever made. Also, the music is excellent. The graphics are good. Even my older brother, who's not a fighting game fan, loves Mortal Kombat. He loves Mortal Kombat 2. It's so fun, and just the backgrounds and the Dan Ford music and just the vast character selection and just all the freaking stuff you can do in that game. It holds up extremely well. I don't think there's really any arcade that, like a home arcade that's out there, that does not have Mortal Kombat 2 in there for sure. Mortal Kombat 1, still an absolute classic. The music's great. I like the Super Nintendo music better, which you do get with the Legacy Collection. You can play that version. I think that is the superior version out of all of them, even though there's no blood. But yeah, this is one of my favorite lists right here, because I get my fighting games like literally all just in one number. We get our number 5s safe and secure with the best fighting games ever made, and Mythologies lumped in. Hell yeah. And number 6, we've got Donkey Kong Country 2, and you guys know how important that game is to me. It just reminds me of those salad days, you know, those simple times, the opening level with the boat, the creaking wood, and the music, and just watch my older brother play, and it was a blast. And it kind of reminds me, like, number 1 was good, 2's the absolute genre-defining GOAT. It's just, you can't beat it. 3 was an absolute disgrace. We don't even talk about 3. 64 was kind of ass. Tropical Freeze and Donkey Kong Returns, those are okay, but nothing ever quite captured what 2 did. 2 was, the graphics were perfect, the music was perfect, the gameplay was perfect. It was just the right amount of everything, and it came out at such a special time. Nintendo powers having dedicated issues to Donkey Kong Country. Yeah, it was magical. That's all I can say. It was very special and very magical, and it has to be on your top 10 list. Well, at least for me, it has to be on my top 10 list. And again, no ties. Alrighty, number 7. Now this is funny. I was talking to one of my viewers, I am nuts. I was playing Peak. I don't know if you guys know this, but I love me some Peak. I play that all the time. I freaking love it, but it kind of reminds me of another game that I absolutely love that I've talked about several times on my show, Valheim. And it's hard for me to put one over the other because they both, to me, kind of represent that cozy vibe that I could only get with PC gaming. Valheim especially, I remember I loved that game so much, I learned mouse and keyboard for that game, and I hate mouse and keyboard. I'm a console peasant, but Valheim made me love it. Like I said, smelting and hunting, and from the first stage all the way to Yagluth, it is like gaming bliss. It is just absolutely perfect. And just going on long voyages and making boats and making mead and all that stuff, it's just so good. It just doesn't get better than that. Well, okay, I hate the Mistlands and I hate the Ashlands, but I hear that I think it's called Great White, is going to kind of balance it out and make it more chill, and I think they're going to tone down the shenanigans, especially in Ashlands. But I would say you need to tone down that freaking mother brain blimp that flies overhead and just shoots you. Like, that's not Valheim. To me, that's not Valheim. I didn't really care for the magic implementation, but you know, it is what it is. But like I said, if you just want a perfect gaming experience, you go from the first level of Valheim, go all the way to Yagluth. That is perfect. Don't even fuck with magic. Just stick with just vanilla Valheim. I promise you, it doesn't get any better than that. It is so good. Now on to Peak. Now, I remember I was talking to I Am Nuts, and I said, dude, this game's in my top 10. He goes, really? Peak? I said, yeah, because it's all encompassing. So it could be one of the scariest games you've ever played. If you play by yourself and you don't know what you're doing, you could be absolutely terrified. You can get yourself on a cliff with those supplies and it's raining and no food and no climbing equipment. It could be absolutely terrifying. It could be one of the funniest games you ever played. I remember my younger brother, I'd passed out and he fed me a poisonous mushrooms and it brought me back only to kill me again, which was fucking hilarious. I find the character designs to be iconic. It could also be one of the most chill games you ever play. You could set it to Tenderfoot and you can just climb and just, it's like I said, gaming bliss. It's perfect. You just climb up a mountain. That's it. It's just as simple and complex as that. You're just climbing up a mountain and it's super cool. I love the fact that this game had so much content and was so beloved that people thought that Landcrab and Landfall Games, I think they combined to call themselves Landcrab, put so much content in the freaking game that people thought it was a live service game. That is how much content they put into this game. Like, people thought it was live service. Thankfully, as the achievement hunter, they're done with Peak. It's their swan song. The only thing, man, only complaints, kind of like the Ashlands and Mistlands, they added a level called Gloom, and my problem with Gloom is the frogs that are fucking disgusting. Like, they're so bad, and they've been nerfed like 3 times. Like, I absolutely hate the frogs. They're like the Greylings in Valheim is like one of the most annoying enemies ever. I can't stand the frogs, and also that big ghost, the big bomb ghost that comes out. It's fucking annoying, especially when you have to look for the 5 bell towers to turn on. It's just absolute bullshit, and I get really angry. And like, are you in purgatory? Like, the only way you can make it through there is you have to have the Book of Bones and technically become undead to go in there, not to fall asleep and turn on to me, that's not Peak. It's just, Peak is a story about Boy Scouts that fly over a mountain that crash and they have to make their way up to get a rescue chopper. It's just as simple as that. But then you start doing like supernatural stuff with like Gloom and then like Citadel. I wasn't really with that, but climbing through a volcano was fine. Like vanilla Peak, again, just like Valheim, is absolutely perfect. I love those games to death, though. I will go to bat for them. But if you love something, you can criticize it, and that's how I feel about Peak and Valheim. I love them, but their latest updates kind of, I wasn't thrilled with it. I'm always happy to play updates, but some of these new levels like Ashlands, Mistlands, and Gloom and Citadel were kind of shit. They're kind of bullshit because they're just so hard. And it's like, but that's not what this game was about. Anyways, though, I could not have them in a position that was not in my top 10 for sure. Either one of these games. Number 8, we've got Dead Rising 2 tied with Resident Evil 1 on the PS1. And so you guys know about Resident Evil 1 on PS1 being important to me. I've talked about this, 3 or 4 times on the show. You guys know I love it. I've interviewed cast members about it. I can do it line for line. My first 32-bit gaming experience at home was Resident Evil 1 on PS1, so I won't delve too far into it. Dead Rising 2, though, I will, and they're both from Capcom, so that's kind of cool. I really enjoyed Dead Rising 2, especially more than 1, because Chuck, I think's a lot better than Frank. I love having to get Zombrex for Katie and getting her toys and stuff like that. It's got some of the best video game music of all time. VIP Lounge, Velvet, or aka Velveeta, Vita, smooth like butter. Like you can make children to that music. And it could be hard as nails if you want it to be, or it could just be a fun, silly game where you get different costumes. Like you could have this as a desert island game, and there's so much content in the base game that you could never get sick of it, because there's just always something to do in Dead Rising 2. It's so freaking cool. You could play cards and poker with survivors. You could do like dirt bike racing on certain modes. It's just cool. Like I love the game, and I try to play it every October. I remember when it first came out in 2010, and the marketing for that, I would watch this Japanese YouTube video, or like this Japanese YouTube series that was dedicated to Dead Rising 2. It was like a sub-story about it. And Zombrex, and I believe it was called Case Zero, is exclusive to Xbox, which I'm genuinely surprised when they released it on the newer consoles and PC, they didn't include Case West or Patient Zero. I want to say that's what it's called, but I think that the overall Dead Rising 2 marketing and package was really cool. I remember getting the collector's edition. They gave me a pin that was like a Zombrex needle. It was super cool. But yeah, I got a Zombrex pin. I got like a prescription tablet to write on. It was super cool, and they'll never market games like that again. I think that was like the last time it kind of felt magical to me to get like a physical release, was Dead Rising 2, and it just takes me back to a simple time. I love 2010. That was a really cool year for me, and then they re-released it in 2016, which was another like magical year for me. So I hold this with like a lot of like special feelings and rose-colored lenses with Dead Rising 2. Number 9, we've got a tie between Final Fantasy 12 and Final Fantasy 15. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, what about 6, you fucking crazy psycho? I've had people do that to me, but they're like, the boy band Final Fantasy? Yeah, the boy band Final Fantasy. And 12, what I like about 12 is it gave off the impression of an online game, but it wasn't online. I love the Gambit system. I think Balthier is one of the coolest characters in any Final Fantasy. I really enjoyed the combat system. I mean, God, I sunk 120 hours into 12, and I just got completely lost in the game, but I was never frustrated. I like the Easterland music. I like the Westerland music. I like the Giza Plains music. But yeah, the music's, it's super cool. The graphics are great. They hold up really well. And thankfully, they've re-released it on everything, but I did hear they kind of nerfed the badge system or the job system, but I heard they kind of made it easier to get the Zodiac weapon, so that's worth looking into. But then you get Final Fantasy 15, which, God, that was so much fun. That was the first Final Fantasy I ever 100%ed, was Final Fantasy 15, because I was just so addicted to it. And fighting Adamantoise, I fought him for 4 hours, the giant turtle, and I just loved getting Ignis the recipes, just running it in the lands and just getting into fights. It felt really nice, and the music was great. And then you could also put music from other Final Fantasies in the game, so like I had Desperate Struggle playing on the radio, and like Victory Fanfare from 7. It was super cool, and you have a flying car, and I never hated any of the characters. Like I loved Ignis. Ignis is one of my favorite characters in Final Fantasy also. I might do a Final Fantasy top character list. Orin would be number 1, but Ignis would be up there also. But yeah, it's fun. I've come up with a new recipe, and the recipes look really good too. I don't know, it just felt really cool. Like there's times where, because it's a really big game, and I want 100% it again, and I remember ending in it was kind of depressing, but I heard there's a way with like the DLC that you can make it a happy ending, so we might jump back in. I might 100% it off stream, but I want that on my Steam profile. Final Fantasy 15 100% again. Yeah, I might have to do that. And then last but not least, number 10, we've got Metroid Prime tied with Super Metroid, and it's kind of like Ocarina of Time and A Link to the Past, where it's just like a 3D version of the 2D version. The music's just incredible. They're all timeless games here. You know Metroid Prime is special to me. You know about the Mona story, so I don't really have to get into it. I think the graphics, even on the GameCube, even nowadays, even before the remake, but yeah, even before the remake, I think Metroid Prime holds up extremely well. Nobody ever talks about the GameCube being a powerhouse graphically, but it definitely was. I don't know if it was Xbox level, but I want to say it was comparable. I think it was better than PS2, in my opinion. But yeah, Super Metroid also, that was one game I didn't play when I was a teenager. I played it as I got older, and I just went, wow, this is so far ahead of its time. Like, the music is comparable to the GameCube. Like, the GameCube took some of the songs from Super Metroid. I felt that 90s cozy hug from playing Super Metroid that I should have experienced back then when I first, when I rented it, but I didn't. But it was there. It was there for sure. And even after the 90s came and went, I still felt it. And you can tell it's a special game. I could watch people stream it. It's that good. And I didn't think I was a Metroid guy. I always put that on my older brother. But I think I'm the Metroid guy, especially with playing Metroid Prime, Metroid Fusion, and Super Metroid. I definitely think I'm more of the Metroid fan out of the family now. But you can't go wrong. 2D or 3D, they're both classics. I think you should check it out. To me, this is like the bedrock of like top 10 like perfection. You got all these different genres of games. It's great. But yeah, 10's rock solid. You can't beat it. All right, I can see you guys typing in the comments already. You fucking dirty cheater. Your top 10 is basically a top 40 because you've put like 40 games up in there and you've tied them all together. It's not really a top 10. I'm sorry about that. That's all I could say. A bit, like, if you guys comment like how like this is some bullshit, I'm just gonna say sorry. It is what it is. I love certain games to the point where I can't put them above other games. I'm sure some people, you think Peak's better than Metroid? I think with some of these, it's what I play more often. But yeah, they all elicit different feelings from me. Some of them are up there because of story. Some of them are up there because of graphics. Some of them are up there because I play them and chill out to them. But yeah, all of them, in my opinion, of course, because it's my list, have earned their spots there. I definitely don't think my list looks like any of your guys's, but let me know what you think in the comments. What are your top 10s? Tying and compilations are allowed. It's my video. I'm greenlighting you. You can go crazy if you want, but anyways, you guys have a good one. I think this might be my longest video. I'll catch you on the next one. Till next time.